Hello, my name is Samuel Warwick. I have autism. The entertainment industry has been a huge part of my childhood. So, by being inspired to see other entertainment podcasters interviewing other people from television shows, I decided to do one myself. To know about some funny behind the scenes, bloopers, and some stuff that we probably didn't know about while they were making the certain type of show. This is Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. Let's go to the podcast now. All right, and we are on and recording now. All right, well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. I am, of course, your host, as always, yours truly, Samuel Warwick. And I am always glad to have you here, whether this is your first episode or if you're coming back for another one. Welcome either way. I have okay, let's see. I have at least four co-hosts with me today. We got two new ones actually. So I'm gonna go on ahead and get to our usual ones. We have, of course, Martin Kreps,
Hello.
Jordan Robinson,
Salutations, everyone.
and we have two new co-hosts actually. So we have another female one. This is another female that we've had. This is another we have another third female on joining us. Her first debut. It's Kiana Scott. Welcome, Kiana.
Hello, everyone.
And last but not least, we have another new one which came in and out and in and out. We have David Brodsky.
Hi, how have you been, everyone?
All right. Well, actually, how are all of you guys doing today?
I got
Good. Quite well, thank you.
I'm nervous but excited.
Yeah.
You're nervous? Yeah, I know. I get that too. We get nervous and excited. So
That's all right.
it happens, guys. It happens. But yeah, anyway.
I'm just moving my chair.
Okay, yeah, that was our guest. But before we get into our guest, I just would like to just say, so we have another Thomas guest, and this is our 40th episode. So we made it to episode 40, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for getting me here. It's been it's been
Well
a very long journey, but now before we get into our guest today, I would like to go on ahead and take take a moment of silence because as you guys know, earlier this year, well, back in Christmas of 2024, we lost a legend this year. We lost another legend from the actual show, the creator of the show, Croft herself. And so I want to take a moment of silence to dedicate her and anybody else who has worked on Thomas the Tank Engine, or if you guys have any other celebrities that you would like to honor, that while we take this moment of silence, feel free to do so as well. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I will watch the time. Just think about the people. You can say a prayer, do whatever you want to do, but we're gonna go ahead and take our moment of silence, and I will watch the time. Go.
All right, so you're going to be with us Thursdays and Tuesdays. Okay, I thought it was Tuesdays, so yeah.
Thank you. I know that was a little bit of a weird moment of silence there, but on your end, but that's okay, Kiana. That's okay. People talk.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. But anyway, we're gonna go on ahead and get in with our guest for today. So our guest for today is he is a singer and a songwriter, of course, I believe, and also for those of you guys that probably mainly know him for, you mainly know him for probably singing for the CGI era of Thomas the Tank Engine, of course. So it's now, I will be honest, that era of Thomas is not necessarily my favorite era of Thomas, but I will be honest.
I love it.
But
now he tells me.
But I will be honest. I love some of the work. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not bad. It's not as what came
That's all
later.
right.
It's not as what came later. Don't worry, it's not as a game. Trust me, I love the songs and the movies that you sang on and such like that. So don't
Yes.
worry. But none of but our guest today has sang on on Thomas. So if you guys grew up with the CGI era of Thomas, well, the singer right here is here with us. It is none other than Mr. Sam Blewitt himself. Sam Blewitt.
Hello
Hello,
there.
how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Lovely to meet you all.
Nice
Thank
to
Yeah.
meet
you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Now
That's
I'm
all right.
sorry if that was a little offensive to you about
Not
saying
at all. I've
I
got
just
skin that thick. That's fine.
I just,
you.
it's just that, that era of Thomas, it was probably, I think a lot of us around that time grew up with, listening to all the celebrities, and then
Sure,
Mike,
yeah.
and then, the two Michaels that narrated it for
Mm,
many,
yeah.
for many years. So,
Well, the story was when Robert Hartson got the job of coming up with composing the music,
mhm,
but they wanted to make it quite contemporary. So,
Ah,
because adults have to listen to it as well as kids.
well,
okay,
So
yeah.
that
yeah,
was the idea. So we tried to work songs that appealed to a broader,
okay,
I honestly think when I did my first one, which was Go
mhm,
Go Thomas,
mhm,
Oh, I love
yeah,
that song.
yeah,
I honestly didn't think they'd want me for any more. So we just said, let's choose this one and then that'll
okay,
be it. And of
yeah,
course they loved it. And then
yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, we're going to do the rest of them now. So
But I am going to
quite an
say this.
accidental step into it, to be
But
honest.
I
So
must say this though, Robert Hartshorn actually was doing Thomas 5 seasons before you came in.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
doing like an
yeah,
orchestra. He was doing
he was, yeah.
like a bit like a brat giving the island the
Mm,
brass, which honestly
yeah.
I
I grew up
prefer.
watching Thomas Magic of the Railroad that starred Alec Baldwin.
Mhm. Yeah, but he was
Mm.
doing the brass. He was doing the
He was doing
brass.
all the orchestration. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the brass
Before
and
we begin,
stuff.
I kind of want to start from the
Yeah,
beginning.
David,
So,
David. It's my show. I'll handle it. Thank you. But
thank you.
I want to start from the beginning, of course, like David said. Sorry, I know you didn't know David, but just it's okay. I know you get excited, but I want to start from the very beginning, of course. You
Mm.
know, how introduce yourself a little bit actually. Just introduce yourself, and then David, you can ask the next question. How about that?
Good idea.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I
Introduce
mean,
yourself.
well, basically, I've been a singer in the UK since the 70s, and I've been in lots of bands. I work on film music, TV music, put records out. I sing on other people's records. So I've been, and nowadays I'm more of a session singer. So I do more. I'll get booked to go in and sing in the studio for people. It can be anything, and sometimes you just don't know sometimes you walk into sessions and you don't know what they're going to want. It's quite exciting, but I'm doing a lot less these days because after lockdown, the industry changed a lot. So there's less work around, but I still do enough.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
Cool.
But
cool.
I've had lots of records out and a couple of hits in the UK. So
Ooh,
Nice.
so
Very
Cool.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing.
yeah.
That is.
So yeah, I sang on it. You won't know it, but I sang on a song called "Dry Your Eyes" by a band called the Streets, and it was
No way.
one of the early
Oh,
Oh, wait a minute.
grime records.
I've heard that
And
song.
that was number one, so that was
oh,
great.
dry,
Yes.
Hey, wow.
dry on the
Dry your
island.
eyes,
Yeah.
meaning dry your eyes because they're
Oh
crying.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
might have heard of that. I don't know if
yeah,
I might have heard
yeah,
that song. I don't know if I listened to it, but I might have heard of
yeah.
it.
You've
Yeah.
probably heard it, yeah.
My parents have heard of it, so as soon as
Oh, there
you
you go.
said
That's
that,
good. There you
I'm
go.
like, yeah, no, my parents love
Yeah.
that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Cool.
But yeah, well, also we interviewed a person, a person from the UK. She's also from the UK as well. Her name was
mm.
TJ Davis, and
Oh, okay.
she sang on the Sonic
Sonic.
R soundtrack, and she mentioned that she sang with like Gary Newman up there and all
Yeah, oh
that.
yeah, right. Okay, that's great. Yeah, exactly.
So I
Yeah.
don't,
Mhm.
I
yeah,
mean, I've worked with over the years, lots of different groups and different people, and it's just some. I sang in a group called Ultravox for about 3 years, and they were big in the '80s, massive group in the
yeah,
UK and in Europe, not in America, But so I joined them in the early 90s, and it was great for a few years. You know, it's just different, and it's nice to challenge yourself with different styles of music.
Of course. All right, David, would you like to go on ahead and ask the question?
Of course. So recently, the idea of your recent, you did a guest appearance on Friends for Life for the album, and it's also a single. How did that come about?
Which song?
The album, Friends for Life. How did that come about?
I don't know.
Let me try. Okay, I also
I don't know. Sometimes labels compile things that you're singing on, and I don't have anything to say in it. You know.
But you also worked for a backing vocalist.
Yeah.
So,
I've done lots as a backing vocalist. Yeah, I do. The truth is, sometimes when you go in the studio, like for Robert or other people, I've done a few since Robert stopped working on Thomas, and
there are a lot of children's groups go through the same thing. The Wiggles just released "Wiggle Up, Giddy Up."
Right.
Yes.
And then I did the one for what's your name, Brannon Carty, and we did Locomotion.
Yes.
I
know. That was great.
I know Brandon Carty. Yes.
You know Brannon?
Yes.
And that was great. And he just messaged me and said, "Look, I'm doing this film about Thomas fans all over the world and everything, and in America." And he said, "Would you do the Locomotion?" And I said, "Of course we will." So we did the track.
I love that.
And it was great.
Yes.
It was great.
Yes.
Sometimes I record things and I don't know what's going to happen with them.
Yeah.
And I'll sometimes find out later that it's been released and it's out there somewhere. The biggest song I think I've ever sung is a one called Million Voices, and it's out there on the internet. It's on Amazon and on all the iTunes and all this stuff. And it's got like 60 million views. And I don't know. It's nothing to do with me. I just went in, sang it with a bunch of other guys, and it's out. Somebody released it, and it's going mad online. But we have little to do with it. You know, we get royalties, but we have very little to do with it. You know, sometimes I don't even know what the song, and I'll find out later. Somebody say, "Oh, is this you singing on here?" And I'll go, "Yeah, I think so. I think so."
Anyway, I also want to talk about the song "Go Go 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 Thomas."
Yes, I want to talk about that too. And I have to say this. There were like two versions of the song. There was a movie version that says "Lives an engine, hero by day," and then later it was like "On the way to work and play."
Yeah.
So
we would do what you do is normally Robert always covered the bases, as you say. We'd do lots of takes with different lyrics, so he could edit for different things. If the producers, for example, in the UK, we call him the Fat Controller. You call him Mr. Topham Hatt. Yeah. So it's an old thing, you know. So it was great for me because I would record one version with Fat Controller and another version with Mr. Top. So I got paid twice, and so it was and we would always change the lyrics. Would have a version with different lyrics. So if they edited it for different things, they could just pull them in. It's just an edit, you know.
Yeah.
There's no real reason. There's no real meaning behind them changing the lyric.
No.
I would record it, and then they could chop and change when they wanted it, you know.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's like because every Thomas version, there's a different one for each different part of the area.
Exactly.
In the world. That's what I noticed.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
When I would
Which was great for us because every year they would bring in a new character, a new train. The Japanese would have one, and then it was fantastic. Oh, great! We got another subject.
Well, growing up to Thomas the Tank Engine, I always noticed when I would listen to the songs, it would be like different for each one. So I'm like,
that's right. Yeah. So
but I also did like the song "Working Together Again."
Yeah.
That was a good song. So
that was a good song. Yeah. But it was, sometimes I would go in and sing and do what we call a demo, and then they would then take it to the producers and because they always these days they always try and get an opinion on everything. So they would then listen to it and go, "Oh, we tried a couple of different singers," and quite often they came back to me. But then, like Stefan, you've spoken to Stefan.
Yes,
Ashton Frank,
I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
you
You even sang. The
Oh yeah,
song
man,
for
we
Bill
worked
Hit
together on
Entertainment
quite a
Yeah.
few
Oh my
tunes.
God,
Yeah,
you watched that
Yeah.
episode. You watched that.
yeah, I listened to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
great, you know. And Stefan's, you know, he's been he's like me, he does all sorts of different things, you know. And then we worked together on. They got him in to do the Fat Controller song, or
Yes.
as you would
Yes.
call it, Mr.
Yes.
Top Hat.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yes. I
yeah.
love that song. I told
And I
someone
did
I
the
love
backing
that.
vocals
that's a
on
good
that. Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Oh
So.
yeah.
Anyway, another
Um,
thing I want to point out is
Yeah.
you also sang for the Hit Entertainment television series Fireman Sam. So where did this come from your career?
All it was because we were doing well, and the team worked, you know, the production team and the songwriting and the singing, and it was just the guys who write the music for Fireman Sam just asked us. They said, "Will you guys do a song for?" And we said, "Yeah, of course we will." You know, so
I gotta say,
that's
Hit Entertainment was something. It was the home of me,
yeah,
Kipper, the Wiggles,
yeah. And I've
Angelina
got to be honest,
Ballerina. It was a childhood
they were
dream.
lovely people to deal with. Hits. They were fantastic. They were really good. Ian McHugh, who did a lot of the productions, was great. He was so hands-on, you know, and you could talk to him, you know. Where sometimes these companies get so big, you can't reach anybody. And he was a good guy, you know, and he knew what he wanted, and it was great. And so the Fireman Sam thing was just one of those. We'd like you to do a song, and we said, "Yeah, of course we will," you know. So that's all it was. Quite often, it's just people asking if you'll do one, and we go, "Yeah, of course." You know.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I just had a question, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Kiana.
I would like to say, when working on the Thomas and Friends series, the songs you did, which one do you think was your favorite one that you got to do?
Blue Mountain Mystery, I think.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that.
One.
Yeah,
It was just a good song, and we always tried to keep them happy, the songs, and it's, you know, and then there was one, I can't remember what was it called. It might have been Working Together, and the producer, there was a new,
Yeah, it is.
there was a guy come in, and he didn't like the version we did, so it was like, okay, it's fine, we'll rework it. So we did, and we really hammed it up, and we did loads of little effects and stuff, and he loved it. He loved it. You know,
nice.
so,
Well, I love the CGI series.
Yeah, and as
Sorry?
well. Continue, Kiana.
Oh, I loved the CGI series. I liked it, honestly. For me, being on the spectrum, I really liked it because I don't know why, having someone else talk for the characters just didn't really speak to me. But seeing the characters talk themselves, that really meant a lot to me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it means for not just people on the spectrum. I think for all kids, I think it means a lot.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it brings and then, like I say, it brings a reality to everything, even though it's not real.
Exactly.
It brings a reality, and it's lovely. You get lost in the world, don't you? It's yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think you've got a good point there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also I do have something to say. I would like to just say a few things. Like first, I do remember also that it was also replayed in the King of the Railway series as well, like the second version was. I'll be honest, I didn't really care for King of the Railway that much. It might be because it went through a very few, like a change, because you know,
Right.
because the other Michael left, the two Michaels left, and then you had, you know, I think, but and also, if I may just say, I know everybody's really excited, but please let's try to give everybody a chance, please, to talk.
No, of course, yeah,
because everybody's been trying to talk, but yeah.
I saw Martin's got his hand up there.
Martin, go ahead. Go ahead, Martin. Go ahead.
Okay. So Sam, I want to talk about the song Roll Along, which you sang. So how did that came up?
Roll Along, Thomas. I think we get what happens is we get suggestions from everybody involved. Everybody wants to be a songwriter, so quite often they'll be working on we get a rough of the film. You know, when they're starting to work on it, we'll get a rough, even something just drawings, just you know, and we're given a rough idea of what sort of thing they want to talk about. And Robert, who wrote them, he always used to say it's quite hard. Yeah. Because when you're writing about trains, it's hard. It's only so many things you can write about. So what was good was they had a character in their face, and then so we would try and get into each character. And the Roll Along, I didn't have a look. I mean, all I did was sing it. I'll be honest with you.
Yes,
So
I love
I
those.
would. So we would try 2 or 3 different versions. We'd try different tempos, different keys, until we were happy with the one we thought worked. You know, and sometimes it was too rock and roll. Sometimes it was too soul-y. So we would just play around with it, and we'd always send them to the guys and say, "Look, how about this version?" And they, you know, but they were very hands-on, and they would give us ideas. They would give us lyrics to work with and a theme. Sometimes they'd give us a theme, and then we could then toy with it. You know.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, a lot of these songs are hard to work on, and just so
Yeah.
everybody knows, I'm sure if you guys are Thomas fans, you do know that Robert, on the other hand, was he just composed the episodes for a while before
Yeah.
Sam
Yeah.
came on. He just
Yeah.
composed the episodes. Ed Welch did all of the stuff, all of the
That's right. Yeah, he did.
yeah, and I think didn't Robert hire you to do it? Because I think a lot of people said
Yeah.
that Robert. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Robert.
So,
Yeah, he's an old friend. I
Yeah.
worked with Robert
Wow.
long before he got involved with Hit.
cool.
And he had a studio near where I lived in South London,
Mhm.
and I used to cycle to his studio,
Oh,
and
nice.
he would do orchestrations, and I would replace them all with voices. It was fantastic.
Nice.
And it was and
Nice.
he was paying me like little
Mm.
session fees, £50 and all he could afford. And then he rang me up one day and he said, "Right, it's payback time." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I've just landed a big gig with Hit Entertainment doing Thomas the Tank Engine." And it was like, yeah, man, you know. So it was great. Everybody was happy, you know.
Yeah, he started in
So
04.
I knew
think.
Robert for a long time before.
Yeah, he started in 04. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
early 04 or maybe
Yeah.
late 03. I don't know. Whenever because
Well,
yeah.
Hit Entertainment actually.
Yeah.
There was one video by Hit Entertainment. So many shows that I remember watching on Hit Entertainment that I remember.
Yeah. But
Todd's World. If you heard Todd's World.
Yeah.
Which one? Sorry, say again, David.
Todd's World.
Todd's World. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows. I mean, this was more of a North American show, so I
Oh,
don't think
okay.
he would know.
Yes.
I'm sure.
I don't even know it, and I'm Canadian.
Yeah, I do.
So.
I do. I know what Todd's World is. I know what it is. Yeah, it was. It would be like
I
these
also
little
want to talk
pastries.
about, which people still talk about, is the you also were in the top 40 in the UK singles chart in 2006. So how did that come about?
I think I was in there 2 or 3 times in 2006. I did a song. I did a copy of the Baywatch theme.
Baywatch.
Which called,
oh my gosh, I've heard of
yeah,
that.
they did a version for Europe
Yeah.
for a release by what was the label? I can't remember one of the labels. Anyway, we did it, and I remember the producer giving me an envelope full of cash for my session, and I went, "No, mate, I'll invoice you, and you pay me from a bank account because they're going to sue you." And they came after him because it was quite a good copy of the original, because the original was Survivor. And the guy, he went after us, and I had all the proof that it was me singing it, and it was for the UK release. And it was great. It was great. I did it for a producer, and they did it. It was a white label in all the clubs in the UK, and it was top 30 actually. I think. I don't know. I don't keep up with this sort of thing. I'm not really.
Nice.
But, we did a charity record with a couple of people in the UK, like DJ. I think it was a charity. I can't remember what the charity was for, but that charted as well. And then Dry Your Eyes as well. So that you know, I was doing. It was a good little purple patch, as they say. You know.
Interesting. So I would like to go on ahead and show off the DVDs that I have from like the CGI. Now I mainly have a lot of model Thomas, like I said, with Alec and George and all that.
Yeah.
But so this is one that you did, of course. Well, you have Hero of the Rails.
Yeah, Hero of the Rails. Yeah.
Hero of the Rails.
Yeah, and actually,
That is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and actually, a good friend by the name of Sadik Sankara actually gave this to me. I remember renting this back in 2009, though.
All right.
I was living in a different city in a different house, and I do remember renting this from like my store had a renting machine where like you would go and you would like rent movies, and then it would give it to you, and then then you would return it back to the movie slot. So
kind of like a library, isn't it? Like a library. Yeah.
Yes, and then this right here This right here
Yeah.
is Tale of the Brave. I think this is
Oh,
one of
Tale of
the
the Brave. Yeah, that was a good
I
one.
love
Yeah.
that
That
one.
was really
Tale,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tale of the
Yeah.
Brave, and I think you sang "Let's Be Brave," so that was another good one. Did you
Oh,
sing on
okay.
that one?
They may have changed the title on that. I don't know. I remember
Yeah,
doing it, but I can't. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
I
then
think there
Okay.
was a song called Tale of the Brave. I think the
yeah,
actual
No.
song,
Okay.
Tale of the Brave. Yeah.
yeah, and
Okay.
then this
I
is
didn't know that.
and then this is
Wow.
another one, Signal Cross, but they only featured the song "Searching Everywhere," which is
Oh,
another
okay.
one that I
Yeah.
like.
Wow.
Searching
And
Yeah. Yeah.
everywhere,
everywhere.
up and left, right, up in the
Yeah.
air.
Yeah.
How do you not know that song? That was one of my favorites.
Yeah. Even though even though the CGI, I now by the time season 17 hit and Mark Morgan came in, I definitely
Hmm.
outgrew it, but I still watched the show, no matter
Oh,
what.
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah. I
watched it.
guess it's because that's the thing with even pop music. That's the thing with TV shows, pop music, anything. You guys grow up and you'll grow out of that phase. Well, you generally do, but not everybody does. But you normally you lose your audience because they grow out of it into something else. Do
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and no
So
Oh, yeah,
offense.
exactly.
Yeah, no offense to you, David. Now I know you like the band, but honestly, I do have to say it does kind of give you some Wiggle vibes, but you're better than the Wiggles. So there you go. I just cannot. I'm sorry. I cannot.
uh,
I just cannot. I can't. I just cannot at a time. I mean, their music is catchy every once in a while. Like I'll listen to the instrumentals. Maybe
Oh,
sometimes I
yeah.
will. I'll admit their instrumentals are honestly better than their singing. And I mean, the most
Yep.
tolerable Wiggle. If I had to pick a Wiggle, a most tolerable Wiggle would be Sam Moran. So
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry. Sorry, Greg. You're okay, but
Yeah.
I honestly, in my opinion, I think you're great. Like the music you've done, big fan.
yes,
Love the music you've done. I
yes,
think
of
you're
course.
incredible.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
of
are
course.
totally
I mean,
amazing.
most of us
With it.
grew up with Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell, who did it for many, many. They
yeah.
did it for
Yeah.
7 seasons, and they did it
Hmm.
for many years. And it's of course we don't hate your music. We love it. We still love it. That's why we're doing
Yeah.
the show because we still
Yeah.
love
Of
the
course.
music.
Yeah.
And what was I gonna say? Oh my God! Now I do have two questions about "Roll Along." You know that I think it was originally sang by a female. Actually, I don't know if it's true, but I think because I heard a demo version of it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I think
There
it was.
was, yeah, you're right. There was a version sung by a girl. I can't remember her name. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But then that's what I say that they would do this. They would try different voices on different things to see if what worked.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they'd say, "Oh, we don't need Sam on this film or this DVD," and
Yeah.
and that's fine. That's
Wow.
they
That
always
that
they're always trying different things, and
that's great.
yeah,
That's great to know about all these things. They
yeah.
send in demos and then they try
Yeah,
again and then they
constantly,
try.
and we'll do a version, and then Robert would just say, "Oh, well, I've got another singer I'm going to try on it. I'll keep you posted," and then
Okay.
and it was
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
that makes
the way it
sense.
works, and it's all about the show. You see, it's not
Mhm.
about. It's all about the film and the DVD. What's right
Yeah.
for that? That
Yes.
the producers
Well,
feel.
yeah.
Of
So
course. And I actually want to ask, this is another one that I really liked because I used to, claim, I used to like, I loved how the way the music was for this one. Now,
mm.
I want to talk about Day of the Diesels, which was actually a
Oh,
really good song.
Ooh.
yeah, it's a
There
great song.
they go, headed for the seaward.
I love that song.
Yeah,
Yes.
Day of the Diesels was good, yeah. We did have such fun working on these songs, man. I can't tell you, because sometimes the words could be either really ridiculous or really good, and so it was just good fun, and it was just we used to have such a laugh.
Yeah, Day
So
of the Diesels.
yeah,
That was
Day
another
of the
great.
Diesels was a good one, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
Yep.
Yeah,
one.
I'm trying to
yeah.
think of another one, which is kind of underrated, but this came in the 16th season.
Okay.
Thomas and Percy, which I actually really
Oh yeah,
like.
Oh,
yeah,
Thomas
yeah.
and
Ooh.
yeah,
Percy.
yeah,
Best
Yeah.
friends you'll see.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you got
There's
to love
always,
some of
and
these.
you'll find all the songs. There was always
Even
keywords they
though
wanted
the
in,
traffic
like
was.
friends.
Hmm.
They would always
Oh,
have
yeah.
certain words that you have to have these in the lyrics. It was just
Yeah,
good fun. So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
and
exactly.
then right at the very end, we did one. Ian McHugh wrote it,
Yes, yes, I
and
know.
yeah, and I thought that was a really good song.
Party train. There's a party train.
And he,
Yes.
because he'd
Oh.
absorbed all this knowledge and information all the time working on the series, and he came up with that song, and I did it with him. I said, "Yeah, come on, let's do it," and I did the song with
Yeah.
him. And I remember thinking, "Man, this is good. You know,
Yeah. I
this
mean,
could be a single. You know,
I
it
said,
was good.
I think this should have been. It should have been a meme.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
Like, why
Yeah.
is
Very
that
good,
song
very
not
good.
a meme? Why isn't it not a meme? It should
Don't
be a
know.
meme. But
Yeah. I think it was
yeah,
done as part of a promo for something else originally.
yeah.
But yeah, it was good song, man. I credit
Alright.
to him. You know, it was a good
But
song.
yeah. So speaking of anything else, do you keep in contact with any of the people that you worked on Thomas with?
Yeah, because we Robert I keep in touch with because
Yes.
there are always
Yes.
other things,
Yeah.
and his son Peter is doing a lot of stuff now.
Yes. And you want to know who? You
Um,
want to know something? I tried to contact Robert. I tried to
uh-huh.
contact them to be on
Oh,
my
really?
show. Yeah, I tried to contact them, but
Oh, I'll drop him a message for you.
yeah. I mean, do you still have his email or whatever, so I
I
can email
do.
him?
I'll call him. I've got his phone number, and I'll give him a
Okay.
ring and tell him. I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
"Come on,
because
dude. This guy wants to do it."
yeah, because I've been trying to locate where he is. I'm trying to
Oh.
locate the email so I can ask him to see if he wants
Okay,
to do this.
I'll
Because I
send
want
it
to
to
talk
you,
to him
man.
about his earlier Thomas
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
It's from like
yeah.
his early years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how was it
Okay.
like, working on
Hmm.
that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll do that.
so
I'll send it. I'll email it to
all
you,
right,
man.
let's
Yeah, no
see.
problem. Yeah.
All right, and also I am going to say this: we do also have fan questions, and while I get them pulled up, so while I get them pulled up, does anybody have any questions for Robert as
I
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jordan. You go first.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Oh,
no,
hi.
you, Kiana. Ladies
Are you
first.
sure?
Yeah, ladies first.
Okay. I have to say, like you've sung for different Thomas movies from the CGI series. I have to say, out of all the CGI movies you've done, which one would you say would be the one you like the most that you did?
Oh, I think I think it could be. I'm trying to think now. It could. I wonder if it was David the Diesels. There was one we went to at my wife. I said to her, "Look, we're going to a premiere. I've sung a song on a film." And she went, "Oh, great, Leicester Square in London, you know." And I said, "It's not what you think. It's Thomas the Tank Engine." But they had everybody there, and I think it was Dave the Diesels. I think.
Nice.
That was a good one.
I think
yes.
it was that one, and that was really good to watch it on the big screen. Was amazing.
Oh, that must have been so much
Because
fun.
I think that one I did 2 songs in, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 2 songs.
Okay.
I got a question. This is like an interesting question. Did you meet any of the cast? Like any of the cast?
Yes, we were. They were all there.
Yeah,
at
the
Oh,
UK,
boy.
the
like the
premiere.
UK
Yeah,
cast.
we were all
I think you only
talking to
met
each
the
other. Yeah,
UK cast because the US
yeah, the UK
cast.
cast would be different.
Yeah, like
Yeah, they
Ben
wouldn't.
Small and Teresa
Yeah,
Gallagher. I'm
yeah.
trying to think
Then
Keith
yeah,
Rickman. So you met all them there?
we were met them, and then
Yeah. And
what
then
they used
of
to do
course
with
Michael Angelis was the narrator.
yes, of course, yeah. But and he was. I always think he was really good. The narration he did was fantastic. You know, after Ringo Starr, of course, but that's a whole other story. You know.
Well, yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
David was really something else.
Yeah.
You know, he was a very well-known actor here.
Yeah.
And he was really good. You know.
Yeah.
Because
So
I'll be honest with you, the voiceover side of it is really hard.
Yeah.
People think, oh, anybody can talk over a movie. They can't.
Yeah, they can.
But do you remember there was what was the guy? Timothy Dalton did one. He did a
think so,
film,
yeah.
and it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And it was like after they realized, oh my God, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
But voiceover work is totally different. You know, it's a whole different skill. And you know, so but David had it down to a fine art. You know.
Now I do have to say something though, and I interviewed one of the U.S. voices.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you didn't see Glenn Rage, who was the U.S. voice of Spencer, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I do have to say something. They, the UK cast had to dub over the American voices, so you got to think. You got to think about that. You got to think about that. I mean, and now I know you have different tastes, but I personally prefer, my dub better with Martin T. Sherman and Carrie Shell and Carrie Shell and Carrie Shell. I'm trying to think. Okay, Jules Dio. They're also Americans that live up there in the UK. And
Yeah,
Michael Brandon, of course, which
of course,
Michael
yeah.
Brandon's actually pretty popular. He did make Peace and Dempsey there in the UK, if you don't remember
Oh,
that show.
that's right. He did. Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
he was the American. So yeah,
Yeah.
he dubbed Thomas here for us. So
Right. Okay.
if you didn't know that, that's a fun fact for you.
Yeah. There you see. That'll win me some points one day.
Oh,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah,
So what was Jordan going
There
to
we
ask?
go.
Jordan was going to ask something, and then
yeah. Ask
Oh,
something.
yes.
Yeah.
Ask something.
Oh, yes. What I was going to ask is, what would you say is the best thing you have ever done in your life?
the best thing I've ever done in my
Ooh,
life,
yeah, that's a good one.
outside of music or including everything.
Whichever one is best. Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's a really hard question because I've
Oh,
probably got a
wow.
list of about 25 things, but the that's a good question. It's a very hard question to answer. I've done some amazing things. I don't know what to say. You've got me thinking now.
Yeah, it's very hard.
I'm never usually lost for words, but
Mm.
I suppose I've got 3 children, and so probably my 3 kids. But you know, when they come along and what they bring to your life
Yeah.
and everything, yeah, I'd probably think that my 3 kids coming along, and they're all totally different, but they're all wonderful.
Yeah.
So I would think probably that. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
since we covered a lot of these fan questions already, I'm gonna just probably hand pick them now since we
Yeah,
covered a lot
that's
of
all right.
them.
Yeah.
So
Like a
so
lucky
we have
dip.
one from Little Green Bug on Wheels. He's on YouTube. Thank you for your question. He would like to know. Well, he wants to know. This is his third question, and because his first 2 have already been answered, his first
Right.
2 was like his favorite song from the Nitrogen and Arc and Renshaw, and you've kind of already said what your favorite song was from that whole era. And so he wants to know this: who are your favorite Thomas the Tank Engine characters? That's a good question.
Ooh.
Oh, I quite like the crane. What was the crane called?
Cranky?
Cranky?
Cranky, yes.
Yeah.
I love Cranky.
Cranky.
And I don't know why. I just thought he was cranky. I always liked him because he was always a bit miserable and a bit cranky.
Oh,
And
yeah.
no, it was just different, and I thought it's great, It's I think
Yeah.
Cranky, yeah.
Yeah.
I always used to look forward when he was in an episode. I used to look forward
Oh,
to it.
Cranky was so funny.
Yeah, Cranky was really good, especially Glenn Rage's voice as Cranky.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, he nailed it. Oh my god. Like Cranky
Well
was like a
done.
New Yorker.
Yeah,
And
that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
no
Fantastic.
offense to Matt Wilkinson, even though I haven't really interviewed him yet. I'm sure that he did good, but Glenn kind of did a little better. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I never really noticed a difference with the Cranky voices. I just like Cranky.
No, that's
Yeah,
right.
same.
Yeah. I'm trying to look. So we have one by the Sturidin A0. I can't spell his name right, but thanks for your question. We have a few, and he says, "Okay, yeah, okay." So I'm gonna go. I mean, we'll just go as a recap. How did you get involved to perform the Unlikely Fandom? Which you kind of sort of want to sum that up again. You can. He wants to know how you got to work with Brandon Cardy on the Unlikely Fandom.
Oh, right. Well, he just emailed me.
Mm-hmm.
It was during the lockdown, and he emailed me and he told me what he was doing, and I was familiar with him because he'd been quite active. Because I remember talking to the guys at Hit and saying to him, "Look, guys like Brannon, you need to start thinking about bringing them in as maybe directors or producers, because these guys are the filmmakers of the future."
Yeah.
He had great ideas, and you could tell he had something, and they're all a bit. I've got to be honest. Adults can be a bit dismissive, They'll be like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
But you could tell too. I said you need to start speaking to them and keeping them on board, because these guys are going to be making movies one day,
Mm-hmm.
And so Brannon, he just met. I was familiar with him, and he messaged me and he just said, "Look, this is my plan," and I said, "Of course," and that was it. He just asked me. Sometimes it's nice to be asked, and then you can say yes or no. And I said, "Of course I will." So.
Yeah, just like we're doing now with this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the head of production on this. I do the recording, I do the editing, I do pretty much everything on here. I tell everybody who we're gonna talk to, and make sure you do the research. So I tell everybody who we're what to do and how to. So I'm head of production.
So you'll be a filmmaker one day.
Yeah. So okay, now we're going to Hudson the Train Guy, and so oh my God, he actually asked a really good one. He wants to know he wants to know your least favorite song that you did. Want to know your least favorite song
Least
that you sang
favorite
on?
song.
Like your least favorite song that you
It's
worked on.
probably a song that I wasn't picked for.
Okay.
You know, so so they might I'd have done it, and then they go, no, we're going to get somebody else to sing that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I wouldn't know what to suggest. I
I'm gonna
wouldn't think
say
I've
All
got
You Need Is Friends, maybe. I didn't really.
possibly, yeah. It's a bit of a twee title, isn't it? It's a bit,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of weak. I'm trying to think
Probably.
of another one I didn't care for. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Yeah, and he also wants to know this. Ooh, this is actually a good one. He wants to know what was your favorite songs before your time, like from either Ed Welch, like he wants to know an Ed Welch one, which was from probably from seasons 8 through 12, and then he wants to know a Mike and O'Donnell and Junior Campbell one, which was way before your time, like from season one, like from season 3
Yeah.
through 7. He wants to know that. So if you had to pick any, like pick one for each, if you're able
Oof, that's
to.
a hard one. I wouldn't. The early ones I wouldn't know. I tend not to. I mean, my young boy, my son Joe, was into Thomas when he was a kid, but I don't remember. I'll be honest, I didn't remember any of the songs that would have just washed by me until I got involved, and then you know.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I can't. It's a hard one
Oh
to
my
answer, to be
goodness.
honest.
I'm gonna have to say this was before you. This is a couple before you. I loved, of course, Come for the Ride, of course. I loved that one. That was a great one. And then I also,
I'm not familiar with it,
yeah,
to
you're
be
not
honest.
familiar with this, but I also liked, trying to think. I liked a lot of them. I liked, oh my God. I loved Percy's Seaside Trip, of course. That one was good. And of
Mhm.
course, I loved Accidents Will Happen.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I remember. I remember that one.
Accidents
Yeah,
will
That's
that's a good
my
happen.
tune. Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that one too. And then and then another one from Mike and Junior, Troublesome Trucks. The Troublesome
Uh-huh.
Trucks will get the engines
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
You know, that was actually
yeah.
sang later over Peter. Peter did a cover of that later for The Adventure
Okay, yeah,
Begins. So
yeah.
that was another good one. And the one from Ed Welch, I would say, I love listening to the sounds that goes chugga chugga whoop,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
chugga
yeah,
chugga whoop,
yeah.
and I love that one.
You'd be amazed how long they work on the
Mhm.
sounds, like
Yeah,
trying to get the
yeah,
sounds right, and you know what'll
yeah,
work. And it all has
yeah.
to. Because they're about trains, there has to be that rhythm.
And
You
then
know.
I also loved Pride, listening to the Pride. Whatever we do it well. That
Mm,
one, I loved listening to that one. And then I
yeah,
also loved listening to, oh my God, there's a lot of great Thomas songs just out
Oh
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Even before your time, there's a lot of great ones that sometimes it's very hard to really come by. You know, there's a lot of good ones out there.
yeah,
So, you know,
yeah.
there's a lot of
And
great
it's
ones.
hard. Believe me, it's hard to write songs about trains.
It
It
is.
is hard.
I didn't think it'd be that hard.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard
Yeah,
because you know because they all roll along, they all make a chugga chugga noise.
yeah,
They hoot. It's a funny. There's only so many things you have to work with, you know.
yeah.
So
And
it's not
That's good
easy.
to know.
And the Farquhar Productions has a question for you. He says he wants to know this. He wants to know what was your favorite episode that you've ever seen. Maybe for the CGI, because I don't think you've watched any of the model
No, I
ones.
probably wouldn't have been familiar. I would have seen them, but I wouldn't have paid much attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can even pick a movie too. Glenn Rage says his
Yeah, I
favorite
think Blue
was
Mountain Mystery. I think
okay.
still that.
Yes,
Yeah,
Blue
yeah,
Mountain Mystery was a great one. Great one.
yeah,
Great
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah,
Blue Mountain Mystery was a
Luke
yeah,
was
great
so
one.
cute.
So
yeah.
yeah, and now we do got some questions on Instagram too, and this is only just for like maybe just only one person. So this is
Hmm.
from a person by the name of Tori Jane Benson. She's one of our biggest followers here for the Entertainment Treasure Pile podcast, and she wants to know what inspired you to be a singer. She wants to know.
Well,
Ooh.
from an early age, I was probably about 12 or 13. I wanted to sing.
Yeah.
Because I was music mad. And all the guys I was with at school. It's funny, I made contact with a lot of them again on Facebook or, you know, via something, and just talking about it. And I did an interview with these guys. And because I'm from Newcastle, which is the north of England, and we were music mad. And all we talked about was music. David Bowie, bands like Slade. You know,
Yes.
all we talked about was music.
Yes.
And then I was the only one that I can remember, I think, from my school who did get into music. So I started playing guitar. I played the drums. I played guitar. And then I was in a bar one night in Newcastle, and these guys come in, and they were in a band, and they said, "Why don't you come?" I had long hair and all this, and they said, "Why don't you come and sing with our band?" And I did, and I never looked back. So I was probably
Cool.
17. I was 17 years old.
Nice. Well, you've
Yeah.
had a very interesting career, I must say, in this music business, and everything, and just, and she wants to know, have you ever written an original song?
Oh
And
yeah, lots of songs. Yeah.
yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, he just
Yeah.
explained it.
Yeah. I mean, I've had
So yeah,
records out and stuff in the past that I've
yeah,
written, and
mhm.
so yeah. I mean, I've written songs, and yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
a,
still do. I still
mhm.
do. I still
Oh,
I love lyrics. I love getting an idea for a lyric. I'll hear somebody say something, I go, "That's a good idea for a lyric," and then I'll work on it. And I put it to one
Yeah,
side and think I'll use that one day. So
yeah,
yeah,
of
I'm still
course.
very inspired by lyrics.
Of course, yeah, of course. And have you like now? I've mentioned some singers earlier. Did you may have met? Did that name earlier seem familiar to you? Like T.J. Davis, Teresa Jane Davis, who sang on Sonic. Does that ring
Yes,
a bell?
yes, I
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah.
you you met her? You met her before, or no?
I think I met them in London. I think they were in London at
Oh
some
my
point. Yeah,
goodness!
I'm
Oh my
sure.
goodness! You
I'm
met
sure.
T.J.
Yeah.
Davis?
Because what they would
Cool.
do, they would often have gatherings for everybody who worked on stuff. They would have like rap parties, and they would
Whoa!
have, they would so we would meet them all. And what was great with Hit was
Wow!
I remember there's an old friend of mine. You may not know him in the US, but he's called Danny John Jules,
Any?
and he's
No.
no, he's great. He's a black guy, and he's wonderful. And I worked with him
Wow!
in the West End long ago, and he's a great singer, great
Nice.
dancer, great everything.
nice.
And there's a
Yeah.
TV show on TV here called Red Dwarf. It's a bit of a
Yes, I've heard
yeah,
of that. Yes,
Never
well,
heard of it.
I've
he
heard of
plays the
that.
cat. He plays the cat
Yeah,
in
I've
Red
heard of
Dwarf.
it. I've heard of
You
it.
should
Yeah,
check it
because
out and watch it. He's
I
wonderful. I
watched
remember
it because
when he was going for the audition, he didn't know what to do, and we were all joking, going, "Be James Brown," because he could do a
yeah,
great James Brown, and he was always like, "Yeah, dancing," and
I know.
and
Yeah,
so
I
he
know.
got the job, he got it,
Yeah,
and
I know.
his character is James Brown. And I was at one of
Yeah,
the rap parties, and Danny was there, and all these people were there, and it was just lovely seeing him, and all these actors and voiceover artists, and there was a lot of Americans there, so
wow.
I figured we were all just chatting and hanging out.
Yeah. The
So
reason
it
why
was
I
great.
know Red Dwarf is because somebody actually did a Sonic game, and there was an American person that did a Sonic game up there. His
Oh,
name is
okay.
called Mac
Okay.
McDonald. His name was Mac McDonald. He was also on Red Dwarf as well. He
Right.
played
Okay.
Captain Hollister, and so that's how I
Right.
know Mac McDonald. I've been trying
You
to keep
check it
him.
out. It's great. It's a great show, Red Dwarf, and it's
I've been trying to
fantastic.
get. I've been trying to get
Yeah.
Mac McDonald on my show as well, but I
Mm,
can't really locate him at the
mm.
moment. Where like
It's a
his
bit
work
out
is.
there, Red Dwarf. It's a bit mad, but it's brilliant.
Yeah, and also I
Yeah.
wanted to ask, do you know another person? Oh my God, I'm trying to think. I can't think of their name. They sang for Sonic as well. Their name was Bentley Jones. They're in the
Bentley
UK.
Jones.
Yeah,
Great name.
Bentley Jones. I don't know if you would know him or not, but that's
No, I
okay.
don't know.
Okay,
No,
that's
no.
okay. Yeah, I just know a lot of people, and sometimes I'm, connected with a few people. Sometimes
Sure.
it's like, because when I was younger, I thought everybody knew everybody, like everybody around the world, like that worked on different shows. But
Yeah,
now
I mean,
I'm
I know what you mean, but they
like,
don't. And
yeah, they
also,
don't. So
and even in the music industry, I'm still meeting people who I should have known years ago. And I
yeah,
say, well, then we'll go, why haven't we met? We know all these people in common. Why haven't we met before? And
Well,
yeah,
it's
you know,
about connections.
it
Like in
is
that
totally.
industry,
Yeah.
like I graduated from Herzing College Communication and Broadcasting course.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going into editing and media, and I've learned that connections help you in this
Totally.
type of industry.
It's all
yeah,
about people at the end of the
yeah,
day. Everything's about people. And
yeah.
it's
Of
there as soon
course.
as if you get in with certain, especially as a singer, if you get in with people, and they can trust you and rely on you, that you're in. I'm just going to put a
Exactly.
light on. It's getting a bit dark here now.
Yes,
It's
yes,
because we got a time difference going. And it's
yeah,
what is it? It's 8 o'clock here, so
yeah,
it's getting
yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
wow.
It's like two something. It's almost
Yeah,
3
yeah,
o'clock
it's
here.
1:53 for me over
It's
here.
3
Oh,
o'clock
is it
here.
okay?
For
I'm
me,
just going to
yeah.
put
I'm
a
in
light on.
Winnipeg,
It's getting a bit
so
dark. Give me a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. We'll still have a little bit though. We still got a little bit. Don't worry, Sam. We still got a little bit though. Don't worry. I'm managing the time. We got a little bit.
Well done, Ozzy. Good boy.
Well, and like I said, I'm still good for time because
Yeah.
I don't work till 3. So I'm good.
We still got a little bit, Sam. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. We still.
Yeah.
I'm managing the time. Just
Okay.
let us know when it's almost time, and then we'll get to the
My
last of the
my
questions.
wife and son are away at the moment. They're in South Africa visiting family.
Oh
so,
wow, cool.
So
cool.
yeah.
Cool. So I'm trying.
So it's nice and quiet in here.
Yeah. I mean, that's
It's just
great.
me and the dog.
Yeah, I want to ask this because this was something later. This was something later. I want to know how was it like singing for the 12 Guardians, which is another rare show that I came across. How was it like singing for like the 12 Guardians? It was or Sheridan 12 or whatever it's called.
Oh, that was right. Did Robert do that?
Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
I mean,
you apparently sang on it. You apparently
Yeah, I
sang
did. Yeah, I did. That. Yeah, the Chinese show, wasn't it? The 12 Guardians. Yeah.
a Chinese show, and he
I
might.
think it was a Chinese production and a British production. It was one of these co-productions, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, because Robert sometimes he would come up with a track, and he would just let me run with it, whatever came to mind, you know. And that was great fun, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I did a real sort of Led Zeppelin type thing on it, you know, which was awesome. You know?
I mean, now I got a question. I know this is probably has nothing to do with like your production, but how do you think Robert did with like composing the music for both for like CGI and the first few seasons?
I mean, the guy's a brilliant composer. And they're all a bit eccentric. I'll be honest with you. Every composer I've ever met is a bit eccentric. They're a bit. You know? And they've got but he's superb, and sometimes, and he's always very flexible. So he'll compose a piece with all the different instrumentation, and then if the voice doesn't sit on it, he has to then rearrange it. You see? So he's always very flexible. You know, he's great, man. He's great. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do have to say though, like I said earlier, I do kind of prefer his model music when he did the model series because I think it kind of sounded more train-like than the CGI, because CGI was kind of more like a circus. If you get what I mean,
I know what you mean.
It kind of sounded more like a circus because I don't know, and it would just use the same music ditty over and over again throughout the episode.
Yeah, well, they do that to save money. I'll be honest with you. That's
and I think Hit Entertainment kind of did that.
Kiana will find this out when she's working in production. You'll find out that they'll go, you got to keep the cost down a little bit here, darling. You got to watch the costs. And then, so you end up using the same piece of music for something, you know. And you guys, and people aren't stupid. They pick up on that straight away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I learned about that in college. Like, I learned that.
Yeah, because you can kind of hear throughout the episode. Because in the earlier seasons, they would play like the theme for fitting the character instead of the episode.
Sure, yeah.
So like when Robert did it, like he would play it would fit the character. I kind of like that better, like playing the character theme throughout the episode because it kind of fitted. It kind of fitted, and then he would still, compose and play and make. He would use his little piano. I'm sure, like he would see.
Well, the difficulty is when you transform that instrumentation to a song, it changes the whole picture of it because you've got to then add words, and you've got to add feeling from a vocalist, and it's a very tricky. It's like molding a piece of clay.
Yeah,
it can go wrong. It can go wrong.
And like I have said before, as most of us were to know, Hit Entertainment around that time kind of was going through. They were going through some changes, and some changes were not going through good. We're not good because originally, as most of us know, Pierce was actually supposed to take over, right, to take over the two Michaels. But then that just did not happen. And I saw something about it the other day actually, as we were interviewing another guest. And I read that. I heard that we were hearing that. I read that it was just somebody heard that Pierce Brosnan would get frustrated during the recording session. So really? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or it's something.
Probably
just a backup.
I think I got the name. Yeah, it was Pierce Bronson who did it, and he could be very prickly.
Yeah, the 12th. Yeah, the 12th. He did he narrated the Great Discovery, but he was initially supposed to do the 12th season, and then it was. That's right. There were supposed to be more seasons like that, but
because what happened was as well because when it didn't work with Brosnan, they went back to David,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
he just said, "I'll have more money, thank you,"
Yeah.
because he just
They
said,
went with
"Okay,
David.
pay me then," and they
Yeah.
had to because they went back to him,
Yeah.
and he was
They
so
went
good.
they went back to
know.
David and the two Michaels.
Yeah,
So because
yeah,
the two Michaels
yeah.
were supposed to leave after the 11th season, as most of us
Right.
probably know. But
Yeah.
and honestly,
That's why sometimes they go for the big Hollywood name and it doesn't really work.
yeah, I
But it's
think
all
there's
about them. It's all about
yeah,
them, and
I
it
just
isn't
think the
about
budget
them.
was just
It isn't about. It's about the show.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
show doesn't matter what show you're working
I
on. The
just think
show
the
is
budget
important.
was just I just think
It's
the
not about. It's,
budget. I just
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just think the budget just did not work out. So I think
Mm,
due to all that, they thought Simon Spencer, who was producer of that era, thought
yeah.
that Bronson would just be better as a movie. And I think
Yeah, totally. He's
yeah,
he's a great movie actor, but he's
yeah,
not
the
a.
Great
Believe me,
Discovery.
he's
Yeah,
not a voiceover. No.
yeah. I personally, I do not think that Pierce was a very good. He nailed the Great Discovery. He did it
Yeah.
in a way, but I certainly do not think he makes a good narrator for the series. To be
No,
honest,
definitely not.
I'm
No.
sorry. He's
It's
my
not. It's
least.
not his. It's not his bag. It's not his
Yeah,
thing. So.
he's my least favorite celebrity to narrate Thomas, but he certainly is
Mm.
not. Now I know this is gonna probably make you a little frustrated, but I personally think he is better. He is probably better than Michael Angelis and
Oh,
Mark
maybe.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Maybe.
was definitely, but he certainly is not as good as, of course, Michael Brandon. Of course, I'm sorry.
Well, the reason they went with Michael was because he's Liverpudlian, like Ringo, because
Yeah,
Ringo
Makes
Starr was the
sense.
makes
yeah.
sense.
So they wanted that sort of character, and people are it's a familiarity that you're bringing
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Even
of
though
course.
like we talked about before, kids grow up and they move
Hmm.
out of that. Most kids
Yeah,
move on to other things. I
yeah,
meet so many people in the UK whose kids love Thomas,
yeah.
and I tell them, oh, I sung loads of the songs, and they're like, what? And then I got a message yesterday from a guy called Pablo, who I did an album 4 years ago. He's a Dutch musician, and his little boy is now into Thomas because he's about 3 or 4, and
Wow.
he picked out 2 songs. He said, "Yeah, I did those," and he looked up the
Hmm.
credits, and there I am, and he's like, his little boy can't believe it.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
now.
Samuel,
Yeah. What's that?
I'm just gonna let you know I gotta go because I gotta go to
Okay.
work soon.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. That's
it
fine.
was great
okay.
to meet.
That's
It was
fine.
great to meet you,
Wonderful to meet you,
Sam.
Kiana, and
All right.
good luck
Yep.
with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
Bye,
luck
Yeah.
with
Same
Kiana.
to
that.
you.
Nice to
All
meet
right.
ya.
Bye,
okay.
Kiana. But
Yep. Bye,
okay.
guys.
All right. But I will
Bye.
now. All right. Well, now Kiana's gone. But now I do have a question to ask this. May I ask you something? How was it like working with Michael Angelis? How do you think he was?
Oh, great! I like him. I rate him as an actor. I think he's a very well known actor in the UK, and
Yeah.
he did a lot of. There's some great TV shows he was in.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I never. I met him I met him at one of the rap parties after we
Yeah.
finished one of the
Yeah.
things, but that was it really. I didn't really speak
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah. Rest his soul, though. Yeah. He died. He passed
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He passed away the same thing as George Carlin did. He passed away of a heart attack
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
interesting to know.
I know. Yeah.
And I
I
mean,
know.
I was literally, here's the thing. I was actually getting ready for high school graduation here back in 2020 because I was graduating, and then somebody on Twitter said this. They said, "Rip Michael Angelis," and I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Oh
No.
my
It's very
goodness!
sad. It's
Oh my
like
goodness!"
yeah, anybody. It's really sad. I mean, we can't live forever, but it was very sad because he's, like I
Yeah,
say, he was very well respected over here in
yeah,
the
he
UK.
was. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. And also, I do have to say about the other Michael Brandon, he's turning 80 years old this
Yeah.
year.
Is he really?
Brandon,
Wow.
Michael Brandon's turning
Wow.
80. Wow. And he's another
Wow.
dream guest we've been trying to get.
That's amazing.
He
Yeah.
was on, yeah, he was
Yeah.
on another podcast, but I'm trying to see if I can get him. I don't know if you're in contact with that Michael at all, Michael Brandon at all.
No, not
Yeah,
at
I
all.
don't
No,
think so.
no.
Yeah,
Sorry, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. But at least you have Robert Hartshorn, and
I'll definitely forward your details
yeah,
to Robert and say, look,
please do. He's actually a
yeah,
dream. He's actually another dream one that I wanted.
yeah.
So that would
But
be a really
his
good
son Peter's doing a lot of stuff now. He's
yeah.
very good. His son Peter's brilliant.
I don't know if
So
he wants to get
yeah,
Peter along as well.
yeah, he might do.
Maybe,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
But usually I like to do separate interviews. But
Sure.
still,
Yeah. Aye,
but
yeah.
I can still add Peter in too since he's
Mm.
a Hartshorn as
See.
well.
Yeah. Aye,
So yeah, I'll consider. But so we are about to wrap up here with you. So would
That's
you have
cool, man. Yeah,
we
no
do got
problem.
we do got at least 3 other questions, and they're normally good ones. So of course,
Okay.
what are you working on now that you would like to
Right.
talk?
At the moment, there's a really great album I'll be working on in the UK. There's two. One of them we don't know when it's coming out, but it's going to be a killer. But there's a girl called Doris Brendel, who's a progressive rock singer, and a guitarist called Lee Dunham, and they've done a blues album. They're progressive rock musicians, so it's a bit, avant-garde. But they've done a blues album, and that's coming out later this month. It's called Big Blue Sky, and I'm singing on it with them. And we're going to do an album launch, and then we're going to do a small tour of it as well. And I'm really excited about that. And then in May, I'm going out with some old friends of mine, a band called Go West,
Nice.
who were huge in the 80s, and they had a song called King of Wishful Thinking.
Oh, Go West. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm going out on tour with them. They're old friends of mine, so I'm going out to give them a helping hand. And then we're touring the UK with an orchestra. We're doing it with an orchestra. And then we've got this other album I've been working on for the last couple of years with a guitarist called Chris Barry, and that's going to be called Saint When, as far as we know. But that's going to be a great album. We don't know when it's coming out, but it's quite exciting. There's quite a few things coming out. So
yeah, cool.
no, I've been working on any TV or film really, so it's unusual.
Nice.
I usually do a lot, but
nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome that you're still working that you're still doing things today.
Yeah.
And I do hope that you still keep you keep in forwarded with this show as well. And welcome back, David. By the way, we're just getting to wrap up things, so I don't know if you have anything else before I get into more of finishing off questions. Would you like?
So
to
what are
add
you
something?
doing now?
We just asked that.
I was just saying I'm working on with a girl called Doris Brendel. She's put a blues album out, so I've been singing on that, and that's coming out on the 24th of April. And then I'm touring with Go West in May. And then later in the year there'll be a release of an album called Saint When, which I'm singing on most of the songs. And that's great. I'm really excited. Basically, I'm excited about everything I do, but that's what keeps you young. But so I'm kind of yeah.
Wow.
So.
All right. I'm trying to. Oh my goodness. So if anybody wants to be, a musician or a singer, or if people, because there's some people listening to you, and what would you recommend, or what would what's your
I would recommend just sticking to what you believe in. Once you've picked something you want to do, you stick to it, whether it's and you're always, whatever you're good at, you're stronger at being that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're a singer, but singing's hard. It's tough because there's a lot of great singers around. And being a musician is tough, but so is also being a writer, so is also being a film director, being an actor. But when you decide to do something, stick to it and be your best at what you do, and just be confident.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean,
usually the people who knock you down are the people who can't do it. So
yeah, of course. I mean, you've had quite the experience singing there, in
Oh yeah,
London,
I've been doing it for nearly 50 years. I've been singing nearly 50 years, so it's like
wow.
And
Whoa.
so yeah, I lose track. Sometimes I can't remember, but I'll be 60. I'm 66 in August, and
cool. Yeah,
so
it's
like
cool beans.
Full beans, man. Get my pension.
Cool beans.
And
yeah. I mean,
well, I'll still be making music,
And just what would you like to say to all the fans who have just been supporting Thomas over the years, or your work, or your era, or any of that?
I have commented. There's a couple of guys. There's one lovely guy I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He did some cartoons, and he featured me in his cartoon with a song and all that. And they're all just, every time I've met them and spoke to them, they're always fantastic people, and they're really enthusiastic about what they believe in, and that's what makes life go around. When you enjoy something and take it for what it is, and I understand that enjoyment, because I do too. I enjoy it all. I enjoyed working on the music and seeing when it was all finished. It's exciting, and it's your enthusiasm that keeps it all going.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, Sam, I love your voice in Thomas. It was very high, and it was very high, and to know that still the franchise to this day holds up, with Thomas
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
Just, the franchise still holds up, and and I will be honest, some of it's I don't believe is Robert's fault, or some of it's kind of sort
No.
of the like being like, okay, well, we want you to kind of sort of,
Yeah.
we want you
Yeah.
just to kind of
There
sort
was
of make
always a
it.
lot of politics in the background. There was he had to deal with all
Oh
that,
yeah, oh
and there was
my
a lot of
gosh,
politics.
yes,
A lot of people they would bring
yeah,
a new guy in, and he had different ideas. It's like one guy wanted
yeah,
80s disco, and we were like, no, it's like
yeah.
so there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. I don't know if you had any like controversial things just like other show did. Like, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know if it
there's always fallouts and disagreements,
yeah,
but
like
what counts is what's produced in the end. Doesn't matter if you don't get on with a
I don't
producer or
even
something.
care.
If you
I
think,
don't
oh
even
my
care if
God,
they don't
it's all about what comes out at the end for the
we
entertainment. It's about
yeah.
entertainment at the end of the day,
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't even care if there was some LGBT characters that they had ideas
yeah, of
for.
course. Why
Yeah,
not?
I
Why not?
honestly would have loved that. I would have
Why
loved
not? Do
that.
you know what I mean?
Because
Yeah,
here's the thing though, as you Dowager your hat there was actually voiced by Keith Wickham himself. So
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go. And then I think a few boy characters
Mm.
there are, and there's been some few boy characters, some ladies that voice boys and some
Yeah,
boys
that's right.
that voice
Always, right. When you
yeah.
go right back through
So I mean,
animation and everything, there's always
yeah, I
women would
would
do the boys' voices. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I would love. Yeah, I would love.
Yeah.
I would have loved an LGBT character in Thomas.
Mm,
Honestly,
yeah.
that would have actually been really cool.
Talk
Honestly.
about bringing it up to date. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, exactly,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But of course now Thomas is completely like, oh my
I
God,
know. It's
ugh,
yeah.
ugh,
I
I don't
know.
like
I
it.
know.
And
I know.
I know that Thomas
But
is for little kids,
there'll
but
be a generation grows up with it and
yeah.
they'll dig it. But I don't get it. I don't
Yeah, I
understand
just
the new
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
honestly, and it's what I used to say while I was watching Thomas. Sometimes it's not really about the narration and all
Mm.
that.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah, yeah.
it's not really about the writing and all that make Thomas
Mm.
that would make Thomas good or bad. Sometimes it's just how the actors and just how it's portrayed and just
Mm.
all that and
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, and so this is the big question here, and then we will stop recording, and then I'll
Okay.
dismiss you after we stop recording
Okay.
here. And so
Okay.
this is the big question here. This is the big question, and this is what I asked all my guests. So, of course, this is called Entertainment Treasure Talk with me, Samuel Warwick. And honestly, I like your
Yeah.
name too. We both are named Sam
Yeah.
too. So there's a British Sam and an American
Yeah.
Sam.
Exactly,
Go
man.
figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, going into the last little bit of, but yeah, going into the last question, what is something that is entertainment treasure to you? Like anything that's entertainment treasure, like any show, particular
Yeah.
show, movie,
Well,
TV show, video game.
yeah.
Although I think you're kind of, too old to remember a video game, but
I love
like anything particular, like
I
any
don't
particular.
play video
Yeah,
games.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
think
my
so.
I'll leave that up to my kids. My kids play. He's got Xboxes and shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't get involved.
Yeah, I used to play. I play a lot of Nintendo and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Those are my
Yeah.
those are
But
me.
I TV wise, there's lots of comedy I love watch. I love comedy.
Yeah.
And because if I can't find anything on good to watch, I'll just watch. There's a series, an Irish series called Father Ted,
Yeah.
which is
I've
genius.
heard of that. I think I may have
Yeah,
heard of that.
it's great. It's fantastic. I love Father Ted. It's silly, but it's brilliant.
Okay, wow.
I love Faulty Towers. I love Monty Python.
Oh,
I love
I've heard of those.
Mr. Bean.
I love
watching Mr.
Oh
Bean.
my God! Yes, Mr. Bean. Yes.
Fantastic. It's just so good.
I gotta watch more of Rowan Atkins. I gotta watch.
Yeah,
more.
I loved Five Children in It. It was
love
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
yeah.
Yes, Five Children in It. It was called
Yeah.
the Sammy out here. I remember that. That
Yeah.
was like a '90s series. That was
Yeah.
'90s. I've
Well,
seen that.
Valamori.
Yes.
Rowan Atkinson's from
Valamori.
Newcastle, where I'm from. He's
Yes,
originally
Valamori.
from Newcastle,
Mhm.
and so but he's a posh.
Yeah.
We're called people from
Yeah.
Newcastle are called Geordies.
Yeah.
We're called
yeah.
Geordies, and he's a
Yeah,
posh
I've
Geordie.
watched.
But
Yeah,
he's great. Rowan Atkinson is superb.
Yeah,
Have you ever?
absolutely.
I don't know if you've ever seen. There was a TV series here. what was it called? Oh, God, lies.
You
I've
know,
forgotten the
Bonnie
series.
Langford, who was in Bugsy Malone, she's actually British.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, Malone. I'm trying to think. I've watched a
But,
lot of UK stuff, by the way. I've seen the story of Tracy Beaker, of course, which is very popular
Yeah.
up there. I've watched that. I've watched that on YouTube since 2017, and I love it. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Show me, Chris and Poi.
What's that? What's
The
that?
Show Me on CBB show.
Show me. I don't think I've heard of that.
But I also did like Mr. Tumble, something special.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah, Mr. Tumble. Yeah,
Mr.
yeah, yeah.
Tumble.
Mr.
That was a
Tumble.
little Mr. Tumble. I'm trying to think what else I've watched on BBC. Oh yeah, I love The Worst Witch. I love The Worst Witch series.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was great. That was
Just
great.
William.
The great thing with kids TV, I know a lot of people who work in kids TV. You can get away with a lot more humor than you can with adult TV because they don't monitor it like they do with adult TV. So sometimes the humor is like, whoa, you know, it's like what?
I think. The adult show that I've kind of sort of watched. There was a show up there that featured somebody else from the Worst Witch series.
Yeah.
Her name was called Annabelle. She was an actor in the UK. She's called Annabelle Barnston. She now directs there now.
Oh. Right. Okay.
So she was in a show called Coming of Age.
Right.
Which was which is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know if you know this. One of the best shows I remember on CBBS was Grandpa in My Pocket.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yes, Grandpa in My Pocket.
Which stars Jake Rollman and
yeah, it's right. That was actually a very clever show. That Grandpa in My Pocket.
Yeah.
Well remembered. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was another one.
Biker is actually played by Phil Gallagher, who played Mr. Baker.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And there was another one. Oh my God. Thinking of another one. Oh my goodness. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard about it. My Parents Were Aliens. Oh yeah,
that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I watched the episode of that.
That is so out there. It's mad, but it's brilliant.
Yeah, I know. These shows are not out there that we're talking about, but I've watched a lot of these through YouTube. I've also watched.
It's just, and it's yeah. But it's because my little boy is 11 now, so he watched a lot of that stuff and he's grown out of it.
Yeah, I watched Shoebox Zoo. I'm trying to think of another one. There was another kids show. It was called Barnaby and Becky, which I've watched. Becky and Barnaby. Love that. Oh yeah, we're actually. I think we're going to be getting the girl that played Becky on the show actually real soon. I don't know when. But we have talked about it, and then
you're working on it,
yeah. So if you keep up with the few episodes, Sam,
that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, just keep up with these episodes. That if you're able to,
man.
What episodes did you see? Whatever besides Stefan, because
I like Me Too because Jay McCarry, who plays Granny Murray, is excellent.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a lot of UK people. Yeah, last episode we interviewed somebody from Demon Headmaster, and so that was pretty popular. So
awesome, man. That was a really good episode.
Yeah, it was. She was sweet too, but she's in New Zealand now. But
really? Okay.
Yeah, she was sweet. She was sweet. So
that's a time difference to deal with, isn't it?
Jesus. Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap up anything? And then
no, I just wish you all good luck and everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you. And then so we're about to close up here. And then once I tell everybody goodbye, I will close everything up. And then after everything is stopped, I will dismiss you after everything is stopped.
Okay, cool. Lovely to meet you all. Lovely to meet you all.
All right, everybody. All right, everyone. Well, Sam, we loved having you on the show. Thank you.
It's been my pleasure. It's been my pleasure
for being on. And it's awesome to this day. I love Thomas. Thomas is one of my favorite shows of all time. And I to this day it will still be cherished in my heart, no matter what. Yeah. So but that is a goodbye from all of us here as well, guys. We had a great time talking to Sam Blewitt today. Thank you once again. And
thank you,
keep on
Samuel.
The lookout for more episodes coming you guys' way very soon. And thank you for helping us reach the 40, even though you couldn't make it for episode
40.
39.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Even though you couldn't be in episode 39, you were still.
Never mind. Hey,
you made it to 40.
Did the 40, man. Yeah.
You made it to 40. So congrats to you. But anyway, guys,
my pleasure. Honestly, it's been great.
But thank you thank you all for watching this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk podcast. hopefully we should be able to get Martin T. Sherman probably next episode. But if we can't, then it's all good. And yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see everybody on the next episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk podcast. Bye, everyone.
Bye
Bye.
now. Bye bye.
Farewell.
Bye bye.
Dave.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk. We hope that you had fun and that you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, maybe you'd like to watch or hear more episodes of the show. The link to the playlist is in the description. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more upcoming episodes. And don't forget that you're awesome and that you too are filled with entertainment treasure. See you next time for another great episode of the podcast. Peace out.